Ay, ay, ay. That's on audio now.
You're on.
We up?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the October 3rd meeting of the Board of Selectmen. We're in the Al Merritt Center in Scenic Market Street. And this meeting's being transmitted via cable television and being recorded. And as we do at the beginning of every meeting, we please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We got a short agenda tonight, and hopefully we can get through this in a reasonable amount of time. First thing on the agenda tonight is the proposal for plaques on the town common benches. Jason Kimball is here to present that to us. Jason, welcome.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me tonight. I'm here on behalf of the Linfield Tricentennial Committee. We've been looking at, I guess, to try to do a couple additional ways of doing some fundraising. And an idea that we came up with is something similar to what we did at Rotary Park over at Billings Pond, where those nice benches are, is to basically sponsor a bench. Bob McKendrick and I were talking about the general logistics of this idea, which...
Put your mic on, please. John. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
All right. Why don't I go ahead and start over? I'm here on behalf of the Linfield Tricentennial Committee. We're here trying to do some additional fundraising for the Tricentennial, which will eventually become, I guess, the Quadcentennial in 100 years, of course, unless the math changes the way it did from the Bicentennial to the Tricentennial. Bob McKendrick and I were looking at possibly doing some sponsorships for the benches at the Common that are already out there, similar to what Rotary Club did at Rotary Park down by Billings Pond. The general idea would be if you donated, say, $500 or $600, we're thinking $500, you get your little name on the plaque. And of course, whoever wanted that would have to pay for the installation as well. And going forward, obviously, that little plaque will probably fall apart at some point. So, just as a catch-all, I guess, if it falls apart, you give the person a written notice saying, hey, you have to pay for the installation, and if it doesn't, then you could possibly either lose the plaque or turn around and rent it out to somebody else or something like that. So I would suggest that maybe I could draft something very simple for a town council to take a look at, where whoever were to sponsor could sign it and would have the understanding that, you're responsible for the upkeep. That's kind of similar to what I believe is the town's policy for when you sponsor an island. You're responsible for the upkeep of your sign and the replacement in case there's a problem. So it kind of keeps it on the sponsor as opposed to the town. So that is a general idea. I figured it would be, I believe there's 6 benches there. So you're talking, if you were to sell all of them out, you'd have about $3,000 in a bank account that could accrue money over time. So it's similar to what they did back in 1976. And that was a good base of funds for the Tricentennial. So that was a general proposal.
Great, thank you. Appreciate that. Now, have you got any kind of design or idea for what the plaques should look like?
Very similar to what's at Rotary Park. You're talking a basic brass plaque or
Yeah.
something close to that could get installed onto the bench. Probably something no bigger than, smaller than a postcard with just, the Crawford family in remembrance of Tricentennial or something like that.
Right.
So nothing extravagant, just a little way to get some extra money for the future celebration, we thought.
No, I think it's a great idea. I'd like to open up to my board members. If you have any comments or opinions on it?
No, I think it's a great idea, Jason. Another great idea for Linfield. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Dick?
As I do, I think it's a great idea.
Yeah,
And
great.
thanks to you and Bob McKendrick for
Excellent.
developing it.
With the board's direction, what I'll do is I'll draft something, shoot it to Tom Mullen. That way, being an attorney, of course, what popped in my mind is someone complaining down the road when their dad's plaque falls off and who pays for it. So I think that having a little handwritten thing in there, hey, you get written notice once your plaque breaks, you're responsible, you have X amount of time to do it. If you don't, plaque doesn't get replaced, and the Tricentennial Committee, if it's still around, could then re-sponsor it out to someone else. So
Well, I imagine there'll be a Kimball in the community at that point, so just direct them to a Kimball.
there'll probably be a few, but I don't know. That depends. But it'll be an easier way, I think, for the committee to make money, which would be very good. So,
Well, great. Yeah, why don't you put something together? Try to keep it under 150 pages.
well,
And-
I'm not billing for this, so that will be easy.
Okay. So it'll be very short then. That'll be very short. And then we'll take a look at that and have town council review that for you.
Excellent.
All right.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you,
very
Jason.
much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Jason.
All right.
Thanks, Jason.
Our next item is the discussion on field usage guidelines, and I know we have a couple of rec commission representatives here. And Joe, you want to come up to the, or Bob, you both want to come up there, or what? Who wants to speak on behalf of the rec commission?
Either
Bob?
one of them.
Neither of you? Okay. Well, yeah, I know, but you in charge of most of the scheduling, so that you can be part of it too. Hi, Bob.
Hey, Phil.
Just introduce yourself, where you're from.
Bob Rellahan, Linfield. I'm on the rec commission for
Yep.
the last 4 years.
Great. So the discussion we had at the last meeting was, there was some of the neighbors at the high school were bringing up the fact that there were some people using the fields at very early in the mornings, on the weekends in particular, and loud music being played, and also the fact that, and that was mostly on the girls' softball field, which abuts that neighborhood right there in Keniston. And then there was some issues with usage down on the baseball field and on oddball times. And we didn't know at the time. Joe wasn't here, and there was no one here from rec commission to talk about it. The abutters there. We had Judy Barry and Nick Stead, and I believe the other one there was Steve Shadeen. He didn't come, but I know it affects him also. Is the usage of the softball field and how it's regulated, and what we can do maybe to reel some of that in. I know they were talking about some loud music being played, and even the language that was being used by some of the adults that were on that field. And I didn't know whether that was scheduled use, or was this just people showing up and using the field. We weren't 100% sure.
What time was the complaint, or did that happen?
Jim, do you remember what the time and dates were? Not certain.
They didn't have certain dates.
Yeah.
The softball field was early in the morning they were complaining about.
Mhm.
People out there playing the aluminum bats and the balls early in the morning. The baseball field was actually the men's softball league, which would have been later at night.
Right.
Loud noise, foul language, and occasionally drinking. But they didn't have specific dates, no.
Joe, what's the earliest that we,
According to the field use guideline, it's 8 o'clock. The field use guideline permits use at 8 o'clock. The softball field typically does not get any play on the rec side before 9. In the spring, the high school softball team does practice there Sunday mornings at about 8:30.
Mhm.
To my knowledge, no one that any of the user groups or rental groups play music. I know I've spoken to Judy Barry a few times. She has expressed concern about the music. I have passed that along to both Mike Beerworth, the athletic director, and Bob Cleary, the principal. They have aimed the music towards the field, away from their house. The last complaint I got from her, I should say, was April school vacation, when they did practice at probably 9 or 10 o'clock.
Mhm.
In baseball, again, they typically practice nothing before 10 on our side. Maybe the high school occasionally on a Saturday would get there a little bit early for batting practice.
Yeah, so if there was something going on at 7 o'clock in the morning, or some earlier hours, that's just some people using it recreationally and not scheduled, most likely.
They wouldn't be scheduled, and 7 is probably an exaggeration.
Yeah, it might have been.
From the neighbors making a point. I know the youth football uses the stadium field. The first game is at 8:30 on a Sunday morning, so they start to show up about 7:30, quarter of 8. They were asked last year and reminded this year, let's be good neighbors. Jack Farrell handled it last year. He said absolutely. Dave Marange's handling it this year. Absolutely. It was down. I typically go up to the outfield of the softball field, which is still, probably a good 100 feet from Mrs. Barry's home and 300 feet from the other abutters, to see if the music is intrusive, and it hasn't been.
Yeah, no, I was there on Sunday morning when they started the youth football, and they obviously kept that music turned down from what they had before.
And I believe that's pretty consistent.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great if we just kind of reel that in, and just keep an eye on it. And I'd like to advise the neighbors there if there is somebody there at off hours to contact either talk to them directly about what they're doing, or contact the town hall if it's during the week, or possibly the police if it's something that they feel is that disruptive on the weekends. Would that be advisable from your? I'm sure you don't want to get a phone call, Joe.
It doesn't matter if I want to or not,
Yeah,
I do.
yeah, you got to get it anyways. I know. I know.
You know, that's part of the deal, I get
Yeah.
it. You know,
Yeah.
I know Mrs. Barry was a little frustrated with just fathers pitching to their kids in the batting cages.
Yeah.
Why should I hear ping, 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 ping at dinner time? I don't think it's unreasonable.
Right.
Yeah, as far as any groups making noise or being rude, swearing, that we've had one complaint like that, we dealt with it pretty quickly. We brought that group before us, one of our rec commission meetings, told them that it had to stop. It wasn't, they were more than cooperative about that. So we have dealt with things like that in the past quickly and strongly.
Yeah, and I know in the last week you guys dealt with the occasional alcoholic beverage down there, and had instructed everybody that uses the fields to no longer have any alcohol at all on the premises.
Correct.
Right. Okay, that's great. Well, I appreciate you being proactive, and I think that will help the area and help the neighbors, with this noise and it's not necessarily the misuse of the fields. I think it's just it's some of the vocal word, the vulgar language and maybe that loud music that once that's all toned down, this will tone down also. So I appreciate it. Anything else?
I'd just like to, Joe, I know we're talking about complaints, but I just want to talk about the positive of what you've done and how you have responded to any complaint or any issues or questions. I was down the soccer field a couple of weeks ago, and you were down there before we even had a look for you to help handle an issue. So it's been a big development down there behind the high school. I just want to thank you for the amount of time and effort you've put in.
Thank you
And
for acknowledging that.
And I've given your cell phone out to many people, and you've been more than receptive. So I thank you that you go above and beyond, and I know you go well above, and you extend the hours. You pretty much become a volunteer position. I know we pay you, but we get a pretty good bargain. Not enough for Joe
Not
Maney,
enough.
so thank you for your hard work. Appreciate it.
Anything?
I'll just add that I was down there this weekend with Joe, and we spent some time walking around and observing just what was going on. I was very pleased with what I saw. I think, as you mentioned, Phil, the PA system for the football games was toned down, and I thought that was at a very reasonable level. So I think it's just going to take some diligence on your part to continue and make sure that people understand they have to be good neighbors. So
Great, appreciate it. Guys, thank you. And if everybody watching at home, we'll put Joe's private cell number on the screen in about 5 seconds.
They've got it already.
Oh, they already have it? Thank you.
On the website.
Thank you, Joe.
The disposition of land at 325 Broadway. Attorney Kaninsky, welcome.
The movie guy showed up after this.
Are they here?
Yeah.
Okay.
So do this and then.
Good evening, thank you. So I am back. It's been about a year since we met on a rainy day out at the site and before the town meeting vote. And we've been successful with getting everything done with the legislature, the governor, and now we're here looking for the final step, which is for there to be a vote and for this board to authorize the disposition of the land as has been proposed. It's for $170,000. I've prepared a proposed certificate of vote. It would also include the non-exclusive permanent easement, which is attached to the vote. A copy of the deed is attached to the vote. And I also listed the requirement that the net proceeds of the sale be deposited in the town's conservation land fund to be used for acquiring town conservation land, which was a requirement of the legislature. And that's essentially the vote that we're here asking for today. there is another party that's involved in this transfer, which is the Linfield Water District, and we have negotiated a modification of their existing easement to move it over as part of Brian's plan to construct a new Jeep dealership. So although I've reached what I believe is a final agreement on those documents, I would hold these documents in escrow until we are sure, okay, we're ready to go with the water district and get everything recorded in the order that I proposed in my email of last week. So if you have any questions for me, I'd be happy to entertain them, and Mr. Kelly is present as well.
Well, Mark, I appreciate it, and welcome Brian also, Brian Kelly. Yeah, this is we went over this in depth last year. I know it's been a little time. I certainly was glad that it wasn't 200 pages long, but it actually isn't that bad, Brian. I don't think you're gonna get billed too much for this one. I think you're okay. But I think it did everything that we had set out to do. I know it took time for the state to weigh in on this, and that was finally done. And that was probably the biggest time crunch here was getting them to get
Yes.
in orders. Yeah, so I believe now that it's all done, and then certainly in the fall, the agreement that we had with you, I have no problem moving forward with this. I don't know if either of my board members have any comments on this? Chris?
No?
You good?
I'm fine.
Dick, we're good? Great. So Jim, do we have to take a formal vote?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll take a motion to approve the MOU as presented for the 353 to 365 Broadway Realty Trust.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Mark, thank you.
Thank you very much.
I see that some of these documents you want to have signed and notarized, so we'll sign
I
it
just,
tonight.
on the documents for this board, I don't need any notary.
Yeah.
It's only for Brian's signature on the easements that he's granting that I will notarize his signature.
Yeah,
So it's just a few
there is one
spots.
notary for myself on here also. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm a notary, I can notarize
Yeah,
his
okay,
signature.
so we can take care of that tonight, okay.
Okay,
Great,
great.
great.
Thanks.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you
All
so
right,
much.
good luck
Really
with it.
appreciate it.
All right.
Good night.
To pull, just to go out of order for a second here, we had one item that was added. We had the Bridgewater filming. I see we have our representative here now. We can have you come up and just introduce yourself, and we can go over quickly what we talked about last week.
Sure. My name's Ollie American. I'm working on a film called Bridgewater. We spoke last week about filming on Elizabeth Way.
Yep.
I do want to start out by saying that we've had a date change. We were talking about Thursday, October 13th. We've changed that to the morning of the previous Tuesday, October 11th.
Yep.
We have spoken with all the residents at the end of the street there. I have the 5 signatures that the board had asked me for last week. But we did also speak to them about the fact that the date could change. We will go back around and notify everyone that we're doing it Tuesday instead of Thursday.
Great. Well, I believe you did what we asked. I think the time frame you're talking about is even better. So you're not gonna run into those early or late time frames. So
We're looking for an 8 a.m.
Yeah.
start time.
Yeah, it looks like-
Our trucks will probably roll in earlier than that.
Mhm.
It could be as early as 6:30 a.m. But we'll be sure to just let everybody know and go from there.
Yeah, if you can stay within that time frame, that's great, because that falls within what we allow anyways.
Right.
So that'd be beautiful.
Great.
Jim, if they're gonna be within the time frame that's allowed anyways, do we still have to vote and approve it?
No, it does not require your approval if they're gonna be between 6 and 6.
Okay. Okay. So, do you want us to approve it in case you're gonna go off on
Yeah, I think it'd be
time?
prudent to just approve it in that case if we do
In
have a
case somebody gets here at
schedule change.
5:30? Yeah. I think I would certainly allow that. If they came a little early, so I have to sit out there on the main drag there, waiting for the 6 o'clock bell.
Yeah, that'd be
But,
appreciated.
Alrighty, and all the neighbors have signed off on it, so I'd certainly take a motion to allow the Bridgewater filming to park their trucks on Elizabeth Way. Take a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Great.
Good luck with the movie.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There's a second?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. There you go. Mark, is the front page the one the three of us have to sign? Then I had the 2 pages inside. Great, okay, so you're all set. Thank you, Mark.
So I'm just signing one.
You just signed the front one, yeah.
Okay.
The other 2 are all set.
Oh,
we have.
That's for us.
So I'll notarize that one too, just so
Right,
you
you
know.
have it otherwise.
I don't have Brian's signatures on that. If you want it, I'll grab them both and I'll drop them back off with Brian's notarized signatures. Fully executed copy. I'll drop it off tomorrow.
Let's finish this up. Great. There you go. Beautiful. All right, the next item on our agenda tonight's evening, we're gonna have a discussion for the DPW director's position. Earlier today, we had interviews with 3 more candidates for that position, and I wanted to open this up to my board members and see if they had someone they particularly liked, or what they thought of the 3 candidates, and if we want to have a consensus on this tonight, or do we want to keep moving forward? So, Chris?
I thought we had 3 strong candidates. We've had a number of strong candidates step forward for this position. I know Joe's still here. I know it's an important position for the recreation in the fields. It's a position we need to fill soon with the winter fast approaching, for the person to get acclimated to the town of Linfield. For me personally, I think one candidate really was at the forefront of the ones, especially the 3 I sat down with today. His name's Anthony Fernari, current director of the Newburyport. He has 6+ years of already of experience as a director. The one key piece that we discussed, and he brought it up, I didn't have to bring it up, was the importance of having communication with the groups in town, especially with recreation, and the challenges, and make sure we meet them. And if we don't meet them, he understood the need to make sure we have communication with those groups. The other piece I really thought of, other than the fact he had a strong background with budget and budgeting, but being visible in the community. And as he said to me, he's not going to be one person. He won't be found in the office, but he'll be continuously going around with the community of Linfield and making sure we're maximizing the potential of the Department of Public Works. And lastly, I thought his comments and his inputs and his desire to be part of the capital facilities group that we have right now, looking at the short-term and long-term future of the buildings in the community. I thought that was a positive.
Yeah.
So I thought he was a strong candidate. I think all of the candidates we really interviewed were strong, but among strong candidates, he was a step above all of them.
Great. Dick?
I guess I'd begin as Chris did by saying that all 3 candidates were in fact very strong. I was very pleased to be able to interview a field of 3 that was very good, but quite frankly, I agree with Chris wholeheartedly that Mr. Fernari was my strong number 1 in the ranking that I did, and for really the same reasons that Chris mentioned. We talked a lot about communications, and we talked a lot about the disappointment this spring that a lot of people experienced when they went down to the different fields and so forth, and he certainly seems to understand the importance of communications, not only with the rec commission, but with the schools, and making sure that things there are maintained properly, and communicating well with the Board of Selectmen. I was very much impressed by his enthusiasm, and I have no qualms in strongly recommending that he be someone that, to be considered for this position.
Well, thank you, Dick. I appreciate that. Again, we did have three very good candidates come before us today, and we had Anthony Funari, who's the Director of Public Services in Newburyport. We had James Waugh, who was 30 years with the DPW and Saugus, and we had George Potter, who's the Highway Superintendent in Lynn, all with many years of experience, very well liked, very well recommended, and I would agree with my fellow selectmen. I think Mr. Funari was by far the standout candidate out of these three. He's got the experience. He's got the I think Dick used the word enthusiasm. I think that's a good word to use. He was very excited about the opportunity here. He lives in Peabody. I think he likes the idea of being a little closer to home. But I think he also likes the challenge of coming into a town like Linfield, where we're doing a lot of new work within the town that he would be involved with, not only the renovation of our roads and infrastructure along that way, but the Fields project and everything else we have going on. And he certainly seems to take a lot of pride in what he gets done, and I want him to instill that throughout the community and also within his department. So I also agree that Mr. Funari was my top choice, and at this point, if everyone's agreeable, I'd like to take a motion to instruct our town administrator to negotiate a contract and offer Mr. Funari the position, and then come back to us at our next meeting with that. Okay?
Yeah, I'd make the motion to instruct Town Administrator Jim Boudreau to enter negotiations with Anthony Funari for a contract to be the Director of Department of Public Works of the Town of Linfield.
Second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
So Jim, if you could take care of that?
Yep.
In the very near future, and I'd appreciate that, and we could discuss that as soon as you have a consensus with our candidate, okay?
I know Charlie thanks you for acting so quickly.
Next on the agenda, we have a resignation from the Historical Commission. It's Mr. Stephen Smith. He's moving out of town, so he says, I enjoyed the experience, participated in the work of this group, particularly in helping organize the town bicentennial celebration. And I also know he worked hard on getting the preservation restrictions in place for the Center Farm. So I want to thank Stephen for all his work with the Historical Commission and wish him the best in his future. We also have the appointment of some additional election officers. Trudy Reed, our town clerk, has asked to have the following officers approved. We have an Anne Marie Ventola, a Pamela Scandalatis, Carmela Dalton, Catherine Rondeau, Valerie Rondeau, and Cheryl Shepper. So I'll take a motion to approve them as stated.
So moved.
Actually, I'm going to abstain.
Okay. Well, I'll second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
I'd like to thank these 6 women for agreeing to work with Trudy on the elections. I am sure it's going to be an interesting day in a month or so. Next we have is the recommendations on warrant articles. We had several deferred items the other night. I don't believe we have anything new since a week ago, and we'll defer this to our meeting before the meeting. Yeah. Okay.
I'll have the numbers to you. Prior to that, unfortunately, today, the auditors were in, so Julie was tied up pretty much all day with the auditors, and we didn't have a chance to go down and bang out these numbers, so I apologize for that, but there were 5 auditors sitting in the other room, and she was a little busy.
That's okay. We'll work on this. It's not unusual that we get those numbers just right before the town meeting anyway, so. After that, we have the Pearly Borough update.
I'm just going to recuse myself and sit among the residents
Sure.
as we hear this update on Curly Grove Lane.
Thank you, Chris. As we had discussed in the prior meetings, at the last meeting, we approved the foreclosure of the property. We asked the law firm of Capola and Capola in Marblehead to move forward with this. They had all the paperwork already prepared, as they always do on someone that's that far in arrears and back taxes. They went to court, had this approved, and as of Friday last week, the town took possession of the property. So now the prior owners and the mortgagees have 1 year's time to redeem the property. In the meantime, we'll decide as a town what we want to do. We certainly want to make sure it's secure, and I still like the idea of a developer or someone coming in and cleaning that property up, so it's not an expense to the town. With the town now owning the property and having a title on it, we have a little more leverage and a little more say on how that gets done. And I think we should pursue the possibility of doing that before we go out to bid. And then I believe the third mortgagee, Mr. Marullo, is still working out a deal with the second mortgagee to take the property over from Mr. Pedotto, as he had planned before, and then the town can facilitate that directly with him. Jim, is there any other provisions we should be talking about at this point? No? Okay. Dick?
No.
No? Okay. Thank you very much. So we'll keep everybody updated on that as it moves along. On the agenda, we have a Union Hospital update. I don't have anything new on Union Hospital. And then we have a Reedy Meadow flooding update. We're still working with with Brad Jones and the State House and trying to get a meeting together with the MBTA to talk about moving forward with doing some work to help alleviate some of the flooding problems. And also have a public comment period. Any residents like to come up and make a public comment? No? Yes? No? Joe? Nothing? Okay. Appreciate that. Well, it doesn't look like we have any town use facilities asked for at this meeting. So last thing we have is to go into executive session to discuss some of our collective bargaining agreements.
This is pending litigation.
Excuse me?
Pending litigation, not collective bargaining.
Request for executive session of Mass Chapters 38, Section 21A, to discuss strategy with respect to litigation for which an open meeting may have to detrimental effect on the litigating position of the public body.
Not
So-
returning to open session.
Not to return to open session. We'll take a roll of the board members.
Aye.
Dick?
Aye.
Aye, and I myself. So we'll now be entering executive session, and good evening, everybody.
Thank you.